If you have ever took a bullwhip and shaken your hand, you have probably noticed that the ripples grow larger and larger. It starts with the small and grow into larger waves. A small impact can cause serious consequences. The same happens in the supply chain, and we call it a bullwhip effect. Bullwhip effect is a distortion in the supply chain that occurs when suppliers of the supply chain order more goods based on forecasted consumer demand rather than actual consumer demand, and that results in an excess of inventory in the supply chain. In an ideal world, supply and demand would be in equilibrium. Ideal here means that each link of the supply chain is well informed about the demand and the inventory. Through the many stages of supply chain, key factors such as time and supply of order decisions, demand for the supply, lack of communication can result in bullwhip. Bullwhip can have a negative effect on business performance, such as excessive inventory that you don't need, poor customer service because of delayed deliveries, lost revenues, or misguided capacity plans, ineffective transportation because of shipping and storage problems, and missed production schedules. Nice Ice is an ice cream producer. Customer demand for their products becomes stagnant towards the end of summer season. Retailers suggest a sales promotion to boost sales and clear the stocks, but retailers fail to notify the producer. Nice Ice notices the demand increase in the market, so it also increases the production. It informs farmers about the increased demand as well as transport company. Distorted information along the supply chain cause the inventory levels to increase, resulting in increased inventory costs, adjusted capacity, and many other problems called bullwhip effect. So now we know what bullwhip effect is. Let's look at what causes it and how we can prevent it. There are four major causes of bullwhip effect. They are demand forecast updating, price fluctuations, rationing and shortage gaming, and order batching. Each organization of supply chain places an order to replenish its stocks with some safety stocks. Forecasting is usually based on the order history from the customers, and it's called exponential smoothing. This is a simple method of demand forecasting. Future demands are continuously updated based on daily demand data. Future demand and associated safety stocks are updated using the historical customer data. Companies usually batches or accumulate demand before issuing an order. It's often done to avoid the cost of processing orders for more frequent ordering or cost of transportation for full truckload. There are two forms of order batching, periodic ordering or push ordering. Both may result in bullwhip effect. Price fluctuations, sales promotions, or price discounts results in customers buying larger quantities and stocking up. As a result, a buying pattern doesn't reflect the actual consumption. And the variation of the buying quantities is much bigger than the variation of the consumption rate, and it causes the bullwhip effect. If product demand exceeds supply, a manufacturer often rations its products. Customer, knowing that the manufacturer will ration the product, is in short supply exaggerate the real needs to counteract the rationing. Later, when demand cools, orders suddenly disappear and cancellation pour in, making it impossible for manufacturer to determine real demand towards the product. Understanding the causes of the bullwhip effect can help managers to find right strategies to mitigate. Many companies have begun to implement innovative programs that partially address the effect. These initiatives and other possible remedies are based on first, information sharing, second, channel alignment, and third, operational efficiency.
Nice job, Matanat. I know you are right in everything you have explained so far. In the other hand, As we are transitioning from vacations to classes, I still think we all need some beers to perform the conclusion of this introductory video about the bull effect at supply chain.
Thank you, Jose Luis. I think you are absolutely right. Let's wrap up this video linking the bullwhip effect through the beer game. It's a business simulation created by a group of MIT professors in the early 60s to explain the dynamics of multi-echelon supply chain. By the way, Jose Luis, did you know the fact that the bullwhip effect was first discussed, and not necessarily with beers only, by Jay Forrester in the similar time at the early 60s in a publication called Industrial Dynamic?
Definitely, Matanat, this game simulator is a great way to learn about how to meet customer demand with minimal expenditure on back orders and inventory across the product flow of a multi-stage supply chain. The game is divided in four main stages: manufacturer, distributor, supplier, and retailer, with 2 weeks communication gap of orders toward the upstream and a 2 week supply chain delay of products toward the downstream. There is 1 point cost for holding excess inventory and 1 point cost for any backlog.
As far as I remember, players cannot see anything other than what is communicated to them. This communication was through pieces of paper with numbers written on them. The retailers draws from a deck of cards for what the customer demands, and the manufacturer places an order, which in turn becomes product in 4 weeks. In the game, the verbal communication between the players is forbidden. So, feelings of confusion and disappointment is very common.
Exactly, Matanat. The drama starts when players wonder if someone in their team did not understand the game or how to deal with erratic customer demand. There is when backlog issues arise as also massive inventories get accumulated. What we had learned during the debriefings are that participants realize that these frustration feelings are common and the reactions based on the feelings are the triggers of the famous bullwhip effect. It's not only about inventories getting accumulated, it's also sometimes about the shortages. For a complete understanding about this game, we need to set it up for not only one supply chain, but for 2 or 3 of them. In this game, as also happened in real life, when you have two beers coming from different supply chains, it's not about understanding those individual supply chains, but also useful to learn how are those different, how they compete, and how to maintain the strategic advantage. We need to remind the fact that despite exist some sectors with more tendency to bullwhip effect than others, this game simulator does not apply only to beers. It can be applied to any other product if having the similar circumstances to the ones that Matanat early introduced in this video.
I hope you enjoyed and learned from this introductory video. It just provides a flavor of what is expected from us during the forum for this week. Thanks all for your attention. Reese, Bosch, Steven, Hussam, Ricardo, Jose Luis, Felipe, and myself are more than happy to interact with you all during this very interesting week. As my friend Jose Luis would say, let's rock and roll. Bye bye.